Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Medicus Deletius, and this is the second story of Jade Empire. No commentary involved.
I haven't seen any ghosts wandering in the city.
The princess is very...
Si Pasayat.
I don't care even if there are ghosts.
Some of the finest items.
Onu you wear napayir wo onu you say.
You look tough.
The Imperial City is beautiful, but you...
You don't look so tough to me. My brother says you have to be real tough to fight in the arena. I don't care even if...
I'm not worried about ghosts. If...
So you're the new fighter in town.
I greet you, sir. I wonder if you might have some silver to spare. I come from a very wealthy family. As such, I have a certain lifestyle to maintain. Parties, female admirers, lots of wine. You understand. I have to have an income, don't I? My father looked at my considerable expenses and told me to get my own silver. Ah, but I am a noble. The shame of manual labor or the stink of trade must not be allowed to touch me. Not at all. Very simply, you have it, I want it. I am behaving in a very rational, civilized manner by politely asking. I read all the greatest philosophers and consulted with wise men before reaching this decision. I assure you the philosophical underpinnings are quite sound. Wisdom is only gained by experience, wine, women, and song, as it were. But a life of revel with no reflection still does not lead to true wisdom. One must ponder, one must daydream. Even if I could bear the shame of sullying my hands with work, when would I think? How could I grow wise? Well, it loses some of the subtlety when you put it that way. But yes. If you feel more generous later, I will be here.
My father lived through the drought. He can attest to the marvelous change Emperor Sun Hai has brought to the Empire. My father...
Your parentage is below average, and your ancestry is of questionable worth. You dress yourself in the manner of a common laborer. Nobody's paying any attention.
Keep trying, just as I instructed.
Your physique seems exceptional. Clearly you are a peasant. A noble could afford sloth. Your breath is like the wind of an ox. Your last meal was of suspect quality. Your beliefs are superficial, and your culture is substandard.
Hold! You must forgive my servant. He was acting for me. I asked him to find someone not distracted by mere insults, someone who would command respect. I must say, your refusal to stand for it was admirable. I think you are exactly what we need. Please, my intent is noble. An Outlander arrived several days ago, and now we cannot get him to leave. He's consuming copious amounts of our food and wine. He balks at our attempts to calm him and answers requests for payment with strange coins of questionable value. He needs to go. He claims he crossed the Glass Sea, which would mean he's from the mysterious East. I've heard reports of minor trade with that region, but only on a small scale. Even if they buy the occasional bolt of silk, everyone knows there are only barbarians outside the Jade Empire, and his manner confirms it. He insults the Emperor. So far, he has escaped the notice of any higher officials. Perhaps he was mistaken for an actor in a troupe, but that will not last. If he is reported, the Lotus assassins will take notice. They'll want to know if he was harbored or his offense was encouraged. Guilt by association is enough for them. We don't want a murder. We just want order restored. But he doesn't respond like we do. He proposes challenges we don't understand and then declares himself the winner. Several of our brightest have faced him, but as soon as they get the better of him, he sets off his strange firework and says they are beaten. Normally, the peasants like it when we intellectuals are maligned, but they tire of his presence too. Getting rid of this nuisance will endear you to many. I hope your ability matches your conviction. Several others have fallen short, despite their outrage at his antics. He is in the Scholar's Garden, and no amount of opposition has moved him. Please, I hope you will prove to be a worthy opponent.
So you're the new fight.
If I catch my husband betting at...
Evil breeds freely when so many people come together.
I didn't expect you in your strange training to make it to the Imperial City. You are proving to be a very interesting person. Of course, I could tell that just by looking at you. You have a very strong presence. As the Heavenly Lily, I am above suspicion, but I am restrained by fawning servants. Silk Fox can go anywhere, and people are not shy about their reactions. There is a thrill, of course, and it allows me to find information useful to us both. Death's Hand brought your Master Li to the palace a few days ago. I saw the flyer. He was bound in chains. He must be powerful, or you are. There was something familiar about him as well. Why would you say that? Is that what he told you? I'm sorry, but I simply cannot believe that your Master Li is the glorious strategist. I was too young to know him. I was told that he and Prince Qin, the third brother, fell defending the Empire 20 years ago. Now it seems they may have been traitors. I discovered this looking through records for information on Death's Hand. Perhaps he tried to influence Sun Li and Sun Qin before corrupting my father. But it doesn't matter who your master is. I could take you to the palace, but Death's Hand controls what my father hears. He must be discredited for you to succeed. A wise decision. His hold over my father is nearly absolute. But if we could show conclusive evidence of his crimes, my father would have to listen. I know how. Construction on the wall has stopped for the first time in generations. The workers now toil in factories building powerful creatures of stone and clay called golems. Death's Hand could use these automatons to seize the Empire, and my father is oblivious. We must infiltrate the Lotus Assassins and find evidence of this treachery. The wall was started by the first Emperor, Sagacious Qian, as protection against the Horse Lords. The Empire has long since grown past its boundaries. It is now more a spiritual monument instead of a physical barrier. Every emperor has added to it. It is a legacy that has lasted millennia. Prisoners of the Empire, hard labor reforms them, and contributing to a legacy gives them purpose. Many respected citizens once worked on the wall. I don't know much, but I saw one lift a stone no human could move. It looked immensely armored. The Lotus Assassin Fortress seems the center of production. My father may have approved the factory without considering what it could be used for. If we just tell him my suspicions, he will dismiss them. We need proof of Death's Hand's intent from the seat of his power, the Lotus Assassin Fortress. It would be impossible to assault, so just walk in. They are recruiting. Have any Lotus Assassins who saw your face lived to report back? I doubt it. They will not recognize you as the person who fought them in Tian's Landing. They have a vague description full of guesswork that has guards holding people at random. Besides, they expect an attack, not someone trying to catch their eye. I would wager that you may profit from their tasks too. Can you see the beauty in using their own methods of recruitment to fight them? I think they deserve it. There are guilds within the Lotus Assassins. Executioners look for fearsome warriors. Inquisitors are more subversive, and they look for cunning in their agents. If you prove yourself in the arena, they will notice you. My people can spread rumors of your interest. The Executioner will take a real interest when you finish the silver round. Or, if you prefer, the Inquisitor recruiter is also seeking new people. He might be open to persuasion. Death's Hand rules over the Lotus Assassins, so I take special interest in their activities. I've had most of my life to ask questions. You suspect my motives? You have no reason to doubt me. If I wanted the Lotus Assassins to find you, I could simply tell them your name. Yes, I will have my people spread rumors of your interest. Once you pass the silver round, the Executioner will take an interest. I'm sure he will find you as impressive as I do. Or, if you prefer, court the Inquisitor. Ask Scholar Dongao in the Scholar's Garden about him. I hear Dongao is closer to the Assassins than he should be. I will wait at your flyer. Or I could travel with you. Before you get too lost, perhaps we should, discuss how closely we will be working together? A wise preference. No offense intended to your amusing companions.
Ah, excellent. I have many items just waiting for you.
Well, look who we have here. There's no princess to save you this time.
Do you think we'd forget? You can't humiliate us and just walk away.
Don't look at me. I can't do anything right now. Not like this.
We'll teach you to insult a guard of the Imperial City.
Spirit thief! Double axes. Your iron. Fist. Iron palm. Fist. My strength will be
Welcome, friend. The lecture won't be starting for a little while, though your enthusiasm is appreciated. I wouldn't worry about seating. Those interfering philosophers had made sure that very few people will be attending the lecture. Certainly. We can't learn without asking questions. How can I help you today? Don't let the name fool you. There are fewer scholars here than you might think. We are far outnumbered by those obstinate philosophers. The philosophers believe that the gods dictate everything, from the rising of the sun to the changing seasons. If the summer ends too soon or too late, the gods must be angry. Of course, anyone who cares to look can see that the birds control the weather. I have noted with some accuracy that the birds predict the seasons. I have a theory that the massive movements of birds in the autumn and spring actually cause the prevailing winds to change direction. When birds fly south just before autumn, they cause the winds to change. We get cold air from the north until the spring, when the birds reverse the winds again. It's really quite simple, but just try telling that to one of the philosophers. Don't get me wrong, I like most of the philosophers, but their strict adherence to aging traditions makes them very difficult to deal with. They're always preaching about peace and harmony. Really, we kill and subdue the creatures of this world in order that we can survive. Where's the peace in that? Can a man survive long enough without eating meat? What about the grains we use to make our bread, or the hides we use for any number of things? We consume constantly. Peace and harmony are wonderful ideals, but in nature only the strong survive, and they don't do it by being peaceful. I'm glad you asked. Today I will speak on my theories of cloud formation. That was my first major discovery, though it hasn't been widely accepted yet. The basic principles are really quite simple. I deduced after lengthy study that clouds are formed by the moisture escaping from our bodies. When the weather is cool, you can clearly see small clouds escaping from people's mouths. Similar clouds form on the skin of people working strenuously in the cold. These clouds of breath rise up and collect near the tallest peaks, where it is almost always cloudy. This was one of my finest discoveries. What? That's quite a question. I'm not sure who told you, but I'd appreciate it if you would keep your voice down when asking those kinds of questions. Nobody here suspects me to be anything but an overzealous scholar, and I'd like to keep it that way. So you want to know about the recruiter? You have a flying machine, do you not? Yes, I know about that. Go back to the landing area and someone will meet you there. The location is public, yet relatively private. Common folk are not welcome on the landing area, so there will be no crowds to hide spies or an ambush. If the Lotus assassins wanted you dead, your life would be over before you even knew you were in danger. He already knows, I'm sure. Now go, and I will not speak to you about this any further.
Your course is set. The Inquisitor will be waiting at your camp. Appease him, and you'll be on the road to appeasing me.
To achieve a stronger spirit, you must first make peace with yourself. The teachings of Sagacious Tien are available to anyone. Come and learn about the ways of Sagacious Tien. Free your body, mind, and spirit. One cannot discover true enlightenment in the world. It comes only from within. Focusing one's thoughts requires balance. Living without balance weakens the mind. The teachings of Sagacious...
Lost citizen? Be about your business and stay out.
Hello there, traveler. Forgive my forwardness, but I noticed your arrival earlier while I was at the tavern. That flying machine of yours is truly a marvel. I actually have a design for a new prototype flyer, and I hope to get funding to build it one day. The other scholars aren't interested in my inventions, though. Me? You want to ask me something? Well, sure, I'd be glad to help you if I can. What would you like to know? Oh, I'm Scholar Zenyu. I'm one of the newer scholar elites. I was actually born in the poor quarter, but my uncle brought me here when I was only 10. He knew I would never have a chance at a real life unless I had some proper schooling. I've lived here with him ever since. That's right, you're new here, aren't you? Well, where should I begin? There's so much to tell you. There are several important areas here in the city. Of course, there are also many different services, too. I'm not sure what to tell you first. Sure. Well, let's see. This place is the Scholars' Garden. For the most part, only stuffy old philosophers and scholars reside here. Farther down toward the city, you'll find the Golden Way. Many wealthy people live and work there. Hopefully some willing to fund one of my inventions. Then there's the Market District, near where you landed earlier. Most of the city does its business there. It's an interesting place. At least, I think so. You'll also find the path to the Black Leopard School there, across the river from the arena. I haven't been there, but I hear it's an interesting place to visit. One of the best places in the city is the arena. Just don't tell my masters I said so. If you go to the arena, you'll also see the heart of the Empire Tavern. And of course, there are several shops and merchants with all manner of supplies available. All of that can be found in the Market District. I'm not supposed to go there. At least not when I'm studying, but it's hard to resist. It's known as the best tavern in all the Empire. I actually do some of my best thinking while I'm there. I like to sit in the upper rooms with a bit of wine and just look out over the city, or the arena. Of course. What do you want to know? Sure. What would you like to know? Now there's a question you don't hear very often. Not too many people like to talk about him. In fact, if I were you, I'd be careful who I ask. I'm not one to believe in superstitious nonsense, but I still wouldn't want to draw his attention. He's very powerful and very dangerous. Some people even suggest that he has gained some control over our honorable emperor. I find it hard to believe, but I suppose it's possible. A city like this always has rumors. Some people say the ghosts are angry and attacking innocent people. Another rumor suggests the emperor is dying. But I wouldn't believe any of that. Just because the emperor hasn't been seen in a while doesn't mean he's ill. Perhaps he just wants some solitude. The emperor is a wise and powerful man. How else could he have solved the drought so many years ago? I wasn't born then, but I've heard the stories. It's true that he hasn't been seen much recently, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's not like the Empire is falling apart in his absence. Maybe he's just taking a rest from all the hard work he's done. Nobody deserves a rest more than the Emperor. I think they are just rumors. I haven't seen any ghosts at all, angry or otherwise. If the ghosts are angry about something, why aren't they here right now? Come to think of it, I don't know any one person who's ever seen a ghost. I prefer to spend my time and energy on things that are real. Designing a new prototype flying machine, now that's important. Sure. All right then, goodbye.
我上次一中了個報告。Koni uk noea kup sa ia sisia su ukot. Pakeni wa kawane ya. Aworth utkur wo kokopia kawa ya elwoth. Wasrafno sositu no ko ota napia ifaria ok. Wo kupketita sumpono, sathwa kawa ia ifiak. Woso awi ni tu uk sumpono. Kutkosi wiwa ya, wo nawa ya ifawiya oka wikino. Koni uk noea kup sa ia sisia su ukot. O ifo ia uk sonkop noko isansia. Ni wupa ia kupu sa ia awath kraka ia nano uksaro isowak nikano wo nap awath utkua wo kokopia kawa ia elwoth. Wo kawa ia tanke ia nano wo ia wasonak. Uksa ia spithu ki ukoniero thakno. Uksa ia ifratsa ia thok kawa ia a ithino nahipi no feitea.
Greetings, and welcome to the Scholar's Garden. I am Philosopher Xiao, one of the many masters you will see here during your visit. I see by your accoutrements that you are not from the Imperial City. I hope your visit here is one of fulfillment and success. As sagacious Tien once said, more valuable than silk are new friends in a foreign land. If you need anything, I will be glad to assist you. Of course, questions lead to answers, answers to knowledge, knowledge to enlightenment, and enlightenment to peace. The teachings of sagacious Tien are based on these precepts. I would be honored to assist you if I am able. The Scholar's Garden is the seat of learning in the Jade Empire. The philosophers and scholars who live here dedicate their lives to the pursuit of wisdom. The scholars are dedicated to unlocking the secrets of the physical world. Many still follow the teachings of sagacious Tien, though some take their studies too far. I am certainly not opposed to their ways of study. Indeed, the scholars have made many wonderful and important discoveries. We philosophers dedicate our lives to the study and teaching of the ways of sagacious Tien. We believe in peace and harmony and balance. Many find it difficult to grasp the significance or usefulness of our studies, but we assist anyone willing to learn the ancient teachings. Of course. What would you like to know? I am afraid I would not be the best person to ask, but there are others to whom I could direct you. A good question. I am sometimes saddened by the fact that I cannot participate more in the life that surrounds me. However, I forego these simple pleasures to remain focused on the learning and application of the teachings of sagacious Tien. Don't misunderstand me. I am content with the choices I've made, but doubts cannot be completely resolved, and the city is a constant reminder of my decision. You could ask young scholar Zenyu. He spends a good deal of time in the city enjoying worldly pursuits, though he does not think his masters know it. There is also a man named Bai who works near the Imperial Arena. He is renowned for his knowledge of the city. I am honored that you would ask me, though I must warn you, the teachings take a lifetime to learn and cannot be taught in a day. Perhaps I could explain the core principles of Tien's teachings. I could recite the history of Tien if you like. The teachings of sagacious Tien are very simple, but the implications are astoundingly complex. At the heart of the teachings are the concepts of harmony and discord. Also referred to as the way of the open palm and the way of the fist, one cannot exist without the other, but neither can they coexist in one person. Harmony with the world comes from understanding your place in the world. An ant that believes it is a tiger will never achieve harmony. In other words, accepting your place in the world and using your skills accordingly is the optimal way of following the path of harmony. Discord is the other side of the coin. People who choose the path of discord seek their own advancement over everything else. These people will ignore the world and use whatever means necessary to raise themselves above their station. Sagacious Tien taught both harmony and discord to his students, for one cannot be fully known without the other. However, he himself followed the way of harmony. Sagacious Tien was the first emperor of the Jade Empire. He was a philosopher and a leader without compare, unifying the warring factions of his time. His teachings founded this great empire, though there was very little written about Tien himself. We do know that he brought peace to the people of the empire, and since that time, his teachings have guided hundreds of generations of followers. Of course. What would you like to know? Well, that is a delicate issue. The recruiter is not so easy to find. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you much more than that. As you wish. With luck, the winds of heaven will bring us together again one day. Farewell.
Awukte yer wo na pa yer uk forti. Akir sonwi ni fayit wo wir waka wir usono ni fayiter ofino. Ike kir kier washatiruk. Uk nik kup kitro sa irustap kithno ukjowir kwadnurk. Sunurk no ku wu ifuwir sowir tatasi, ni siso ir ka wikawar ir roren. Usa ir sa wi apihir ninu siso ir tiuth. Wawawir shaksir kawir onk, ni siso ir akuwu uksunti, wawawir shaksir fukno. Sunurk no ku wu ifuwir sowir tatasi, ni siso ir ka wikawar ir roren. Krons niwu no yir, wayir uk sakwanurko, uk nik ni siso ir akuwu. Ike kir kir washathir uk. Pir inni tinowir, nonni apatar wo kawar nif. Wawawir shaksir kaw. Nisiso ir akuwu kusuwir wawus.
I hope you're not here to pester me. I'm a very busy, important, and educated man, you know. All manner of studies. The history of dramatic systems, applied theology, and, celestial integration. All of these are vital pursuits of knowledge. Not that you would understand such lofty matters. Well, you see, drama can be broken down into several systems, and I study the history of those systems over time, how they've changed, and that sort of thing. Well, there's the new system, of course, but everyone knows that. Then we have the old system, which, as you may surmise, is no longer in use. That's a brief summary of my latest work, at any rate. Oh, it's all very complex, and I really don't feel like describing it to you at any length. That's how you know I'm a scholar, you see. An unwillingness to share all the information I have. Too large a subject for your mind to comprehend, I'm sure. Well, it's the application of the study of theological things, isn't it? For instance, knowing about spirits and then finding a use for that knowledge. Well, no, not really. This is the study of applied theology, not the application of studied theology. That's something else entirely. Celestial integration means just that. It's integrated, celestially. Thus, the relationship between the heavens and earth is one of integration and, celestial. It's a very advanced field of research. It would take several lifetimes to understand it properly, which is why my position as a scholar is so irrefutable. Oh, I doubt it. You don't look the type for heavy reading.
No, but I am, and I certainly haven't heard of you.
Of course, none of my books are published yet, but as a scholar and a respected one, I will most certainly pen some marvelous books someday. Well, yes. Unless your theories are astoundingly brilliant, which is the case with me. Of course not! I'm... Ah, drat. This isn't working at all. How did you know? You're here to hunt me down, then. Lord Rento has it in for me, and I figured it would come to this. I don't suppose running would do me any good. This is what passes for justice in the Imperial City? I was unjustly accused. I simply petitioned Lady Rento for some silver to support me as an actor. Patronage, it's called. She agreed, but her husband flew into a rage when he found out, and now I have a death sentence on my head. It's not fair, and if you were a decent person, you'd help me get out of this city instead of taking me in. It's the only way I'll get clear of Lord Rento's wrath. You need more proof than my pathetic attempt to pose as a scholar? How about the fact that Lord Rento was out of town when I bilked him? Not that anyone but Lady Rento will confirm that for you. Still, it should be apparent that I'm not some great confidence man. I'll admit that I can't match the bounty on my head, but I could give you half of what they're offering. I have an idea how I could get out of the city, too. All the best actors die young. If we're going to do this, I might as well get out of these robes.
Hidden fist. Focus. Iron
As amusing as your savage dances are, once again I have proven the superiority of setting your nose to the grindstone and not mucking about. Now bring some refreshments in a proper mug, or I'll take back the coins of my home and country. Don't you heathens know the worth of a proper king's halfpenny?
Generous visitor, if our customs are so displeasing to you, perhaps you should find lodging elsewhere?
Please? And leave you lot to your primitive ways? Tell them what I think of that, Squire Percival.
Sir Roderick Ponce von Fontelbottom, the magnificent bastard, will do no such thing. He means to educate you all.
Good lad. Found him wading in the mud, planting weeds. You can't keep your crackers crisp doing that. Can't help you if you don't know the horror of a soggy biscuit. I've given him dignity, and unless one of you has the will to deny that I'm your better, I suggest you start learning. We'll have you in proper trousers by the morrow. Oh, what's that? Someone stepping to the fore? Let's have a look at you. Ah, you're a large fellow, aren't you? Certainly room enough for brains in there, but I doubt if you have any more sense than the rest of this crowd. The simple truth is that I have bested every one of you who has come forward, whether in tests of wit or combat. You faced a champion of king and country. Now, I didn't ask to land here, but if a storm is going to cast my ship into the very heart of such a dark empire, I'll bring the light of knowledge wherever I can. You must hunger for guidance. You're like children. I mean, only a handful of you can even grow a decent moustache. What kind of place is this? Is that your answer? To throw yourself into mindless combat? Only proves my point. The lot of you could bury me with bodies, but I'd still be your better. But if you want to bring more to the table, and a decent height table, none of this kneeling malarkey, I will grant you a chance to prove you are adequate. But I will acknowledge that I am likely to disagree just because I know you are, lacking. We will need educated men to judge the merits of our arguments. Huh! Any dog can bite, but very few can speak. I've gone to pains to learn your barbaric tongue, only to find that none of you has much to say. I've heard a distinct lack of couplets and quatrains, to say nothing of pentameters. Is it any wonder you people live as you do? I charge you with defending the heart of your people. If a group of judges determines that you have adequately done so, I will declare you the winner. It's more likely I'll teach the rest by making an example of you. Here, these 5 standing about will be our judges. They look like a varied lot. Go on, talk to them all to prove I haven't coerced them. We'll begin the debate when you're ready. Then we'll see how you fare in combat. Doubt you'll do very well. Like the rest, you're all just too damn skinny.
I heard you accept the Outlander's challenge. I'm grateful you have seen fit to defend us all. I would be honored to sit in judgment of the debate. Several of my fellow scholars have also volunteered. No, that would only prove his accusations that we cannot defend our culture on fair terms. We can't give in to that temptation. Of course, I doubt his arguments will have the weight that he expects. Not here in the heart of the Jade Empire. I am ill-equipped to see my own faults, but I, like my fellow scholars, am adept at exploiting the weaknesses of others. Scholars Heng and Zhao are easily swayed with simple facts. Cite such details, and they are certain to change their opinion either for or against. The best course is to appeal to the individual preferences of the judges. We are theoretical thinkers, really. It is not so much the subject, but the tactic that triggers reaction. Each judge will respond only to argument styles they favor. If a judge likes fact, use it once and he will join your side. Use it again and he will switch back just to further debate. Other arguments may not interest him at all. I wish you luck. I look forward to your defense of the Empire.
I like this Outlander. His foolishness is not disguised behind education. I am supposed to be the servant of an educated man. Destiny is a trickster that does not share the joke. I am supposed to be... The minister is not the best at applied intelligence. Many of the scholars are theoretically smart. I am supposed to be the servant of an educated man. The minister is not...
Oh, this is exciting. I've never been asked to jury a debate before, and now I'm the third of your 5 judges. My name is Scholar Zhao. He is coarser than the thinkers I am used to, but on the whole I am not as upset by him as others appear to be. He seems bent on disruptive behavior. He should be encouraged to take that elsewhere. I haven't given it much thought. I pictured myself as balanced, but some of the others are very specific in their tastes. Actually, you can sway scholars Kai and Gu by mocking your opponent. I don't care for it, but they seem to respond quite vigorously. I've argued in this group of scholars many times before. We are so used to each other that we will change opinions just to further the debate. Don't worry so much about what you are saying when you respond. Just concentrate on how you say it. Good luck. This should be an interesting debate.
Greetings to you. I am Scholar Hang, and I will be serving as the second of 5 judges for the debate. I look forward to honorable discourse. I don't dislike him. I find some of his points to be worth discussing, but Sir Roderick is a bit disruptive for the garden. He may bring attention that we do not want. It would be best to peacefully encourage him to be on his way. Try to choose your arguments in a sequence that eventually turns everyone in your favor. Don't worry about losing a vote on a single topic. I'm sure the others agree that my tastes are balanced. The minister, however, is easily engaged by sympathetic pleas, as are scholars Zhao and Gu. I find their appreciation of such fawning to be distasteful, but that is one of the arguments they prefer. Good luck against the Outlander. He is a tenacious speaker.
I greet you. My name is Scholar Kai, and I will be the 4th of 5 judges for the debate. I suggest you don't mess it up. He is an insult to our accomplishments as a people. If you fail in the debate, at least take him to task physically. I don't care where he came from. Anything to get him on his way. Some arguments may win a judge's favor while turning another away. Vary your topics so that you don't end up manipulating the same judges over and over. I am always impartial, but some of my fellows are easy to goad into decisions if you know their tastes. The minister is particularly fond of confrontational arguments. Respond in a rage and you are sure to engage him. The Outlander uses flawed logic. Don't allow him to taint this forum of culture and intellect.
Ah, so you are the one who will debate the Outlander. I am the 5th of your 5 judges. He doesn't seem that interested in gathering any. He's clearly used to imposing his opinion regardless of the recipient's desire to have it. His points are debatable, but his presentation is not compatible with the garden. Try not to dig a hole you can't get out of. If you can't get everyone to agree with you, just focus on getting as many as you can. Remember, you need a majority of judges on your side at the end of 6 topics. Are you implying that I am predisposed to be weak in certain areas? I can't accept that. Some of my fellows, however, are another story. Scholars Zhao and Kai are easy to predict. Dismissing a weak argument gets their attention immediately and will spur them one way or another. Yes, make certain you are ready. The Outlander will be a challenging opponent.
Meh. It's a living. Meh. The planting season was almost over, so I figured I might as well travel with him. It has been interesting. I don't understand a thing he says, but I don't understand much of what these scholars say either. Meh.
Well, ready to set the ponies in motion, are we? Let's declare some rules and get to it. You don't mind if I make this interesting, do you? I just want to make sure that this is more entertaining than simply blathering about whose walls are higher or whose philosophers really know what's what. It will be a simple matter. 5 judges, 6 topics. I'll pose my argument about why your foolish land stumbles like a child, and you try to answer. The judges will raise their arms to indicate whom they favor. Arms up for you, arms down for me. After 6 topics, if you have a majority, you are the winner. By the Queen's corset, if you get them all on your side at any time, I'll declare the match over. Now, shall we proceed? I will pull no punches, and I expect no mercy on your part. Let's see which of us is truly superior. Well, what shall be my first point of contention? I know, the most basic of concerns for a culture, the currency of its economy. What manner of society would use the silver coin as the basis of trade? Gold is clearly superior, which you admit by using it for important statuary. Your understanding of what determines value is flawed. Your rebuttal? Well, you are clearly in the minority, but I can spare no quarter. To the next topic. I call attention to the arrogance of your empire. You simply assume that all lands outside your borders are the domain of barbarians and monsters. How can you truly know they are uncivilized until you've proven it by conquest? Crush them beneath your heel. You sit here thinking while far-off lands yearn for direction, not unlike what I am attempting with you. Well, you are clearly in the minority, but I can spare no quarter. To the next topic. Shall I draw attention to your foolish reliance on personal combat? You've got strange dragon powder arms, but you waste them on spectacle and flying chariots. Any decently civilized people would have developed a proper array of personal sidearms by now, like old Mirabelle here. Well, you are clearly in the minority, but I can spare no... I challenge your foolish beliefs and the irrational behaviors they produce. Dragons, spirits, and even talk of unresting dead. Just look at the collective foolishness that you call a floating palace. The constant superstitious yammering of your peasants even has me seeing it. And how the bloody hell would you get a moat up there? It's ridiculous, I say. Well, a majority on your side, but the debate is not over yet. I say that you don't seem to understand the relationship between the ruling class and the peasantry. Your commoners are far too happy to be productive. A proper spiral of misery shows that they are doing a decent day's work. Your peasants only suffer because of foolish superstitions about the dead walking around. What? My monocle must be fogged. I can't see anyone in my favor.
It appears they've reached a consensus against you, Sir Roderick.
Clearly these people are incapable of fairly comparing one of their own to an outsider. This is a farce. There, see how quickly I am dismissed? No grace in victory. You are, and always will be, a backwards lot. I seek satisfaction. You have bested me in debate, but true honor is decided on the dueling field. You have offended me, fool. So be it. You'll face my full wrath in the closest location with room for proper maneuvers. Mirabelle will sit you down. The entry hall here has walls to be up against, corners to be backed into, and floor enough on which to be down but not out. Whatever your metaphor, I'll beat it. Return to me when you are ready, and we will walk there together, just to ensure that no one gets lost or suffers an accident that would prevent a fair fight. Frankly, I don't know what you people are capable of. What? Good! Let's get this over with so I can return to schooling the rest of your fellows. I envy you. You are about to experience for the first time the skill that has forged an empire and traveled the world. There will be pain as well, but I imagine it will be almost worth it.
Focus! Hidden Fist. Not it! Iron Man. Not it! Hidden Fist. Body needs healing.
Your concept of honor. Percival, a towel. Well. What? There, see how I seek satisfaction. You have a return to me. Yes. What was it? Ah, there you are. What?
Hidden Fist. Iron Bomb. Double axes. Hidden Fist. Double axes. Focus. Red Minister Force.
That was a fine display of skill.
It was a fair fight, Sir Roderick, within the rules you specified.
Yes, old boy, you've got it right. I was really sat down, I believe. Like the fall of the old bridge across the Grand. My humours are in disarray, I tell you. I suppose I should have seen it coming. Your win in the debate was a sure sign. I do believe I have underestimated the lot of you. Regardless, you have beaten me. That's a point of honour I cannot deny. There's no need to shout. I'm sure my expulsion is part of some post-duel tradition of yours. Well, my country has one as well. To the victor goes the spoils. I wouldn't be much of an ambassador for my country if I didn't abide by its customs. The Duchess of Almsbottom's rules of engagement are quite clear on this matter. Here, a bauble I found with a nice weight. It was wasted on some roadside bidet. The locals acted as though I'd relieve myself on a bleeding shrine to all of creation. I just don't understand this place. Right, Percival, fluff my travelling trousers. We will darken this garden no more.
A well-fought victory against that Outlander buffoon. You showed that he could not best us in battle, mentally or physically. We are all in your debt, but the Ministry of Culture is particularly so. Please take this token sum of silver as payment. You certainly earned it. I did not expect this from someone who performed so well in the debate. Clearly the Outlander's boorish nature has rubbed off on you. Here, a few more coins, but there will be no more. If attention is brought to this now, you will suffer as much as the rest of us. Our business is concluded. Thank you once again. Now, goodbye. Many of our debates are decided by form over content. I suppose that is why the subtleties of being a scholar are lost on so many. Many of our...
Such a string of improprieties. Spirits have tricked his mouth into mocking him. He may not know he is the center of a joke, but that does not decrease my enjoyment. Your actions must have brought too much sense to the world. The minister seems to be charged with returning balance. Such a string of improprieties.
The contest is over and you performed flawlessly. I am impressed.
You have completely routed the Outlander. I commend you on your masterful intellect and martial skills.
You have secured a great victory for the Empire. The Outlander has to respect us now.
This will be a great tragedy.
And this is the end of this part of the story. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe. Medicus Delicius out.